Welcome to Michelle's Storytime. I am Michelle and I am excited to read Jesus and the Big Parade, the Palm Sunday Story by Susan Minton. Have you ever been to a parade? Most parades have lots of noise. They have marching bands and fire trucks and beauty queens riding in fancy cars. Parades are lots of fun. When a city has a parade, it is usually to celebrate a holiday like Christmas or St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes a city will have a parade to celebrate a local sports team or hero. A long, long time ago, Jesus was in the middle of a parade in Jerusalem. It was not a real parade. It was different than any parade you have ever been to. This parade did not have any fire trucks. There were no marching bands or parade floats. This parade was not planned by the city. It started all by itself. It started because Jesus decided to take a trip to Jerusalem. Jesus and his special friends were on their way to Jerusalem when they came to the village, which was close to Jerusalem. Jesus sent two of his friends on ahead. Jesus told his friends what to do. He said as soon as they got into the village, they would see a donkey with her colt. Jesus wanted them to untie the donkeys and bring them to him. One thing we know about animals is that they are dirty. They might not look dirty when you see them in a pasture, but donkeys and horses like to roll in the dust. They stand outside in all kinds of weather. They get very dirty and smelly. Jesus' friend took off their coats and laid them on the colt's back, just like a saddle. Jesus would not get dirty from the donkey. Jesus sat down on the coats that were on the donkey's back. He was ready to go into Jerusalem. Jesus started riding the donkey toward Jerusalem, but he didn't go by himself. Lots of people followed Jesus wherever he went. There were always crowds of people in front of him, crowds of people behind him, and crowds of people to the sides. There were lots of people all around on this day, too. The people who were in the crowd that day were very excited that Jesus was coming into Jerusalem. Most of them took off their coats and spread them in the dusty road. Others cut branches from the trees and put them in the road. They were making a special path for Jesus and the donkey. It's starting to sound like a parade, isn't it? The people in the crowd were very happy and excited. Jesus and the donkey walked over the coals. They walked over the branches. They walked toward the city of Jerusalem. The people in the crowd were shouting with their outside voices. It must have been very, very loud. Do you like loud noises? The people were yelling something very special. Do you know what it was? The people were shouting out, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that is coming. Hosanna in the highest." Son of David was a special name that the Jewish people used when they were talking about the Messiah. The people were calling Jesus the Messiah. They wanted Jesus to become king in Jerusalem. Is that what Jesus was going to do? Hosanna is another way of saying save now. The people in the crowd were calling for the Messiah to save them now. They were happy that Jesus was in Jerusalem. The people wanted Jesus to become king and change everything in Jerusalem. The crowd was very loud. Their shouting made the whole city excited. Jesus rode along on his donkey, and the people hollered and put branches and clothes in the road. It was like a very big parade. Almost everybody was very happy and excited. Some people were not happy. They were not excited. The Pharisees, bad men who wanted everyone to think that they were good men, did not like what the people were saying about Jesus. The Pharisees did not like how Jesus' friends were praising God. They told Jesus to stop his friends from shouting. Do you think Jesus did what they said? Jesus did not do as the Pharisees said. Instead, Jesus told the Pharisees that if the people stopped shouting praises to him, the rocks would start shouting. Wouldn't that have been strange? Jesus kept on riding his donkey. The crowd kept walking along. At last, they could see the city of Jerusalem. When Jesus saw the city of Jerusalem, he cried. Jesus knew that the people in the city did not understand. They did not understand that Jesus wanted to be king of their hearts, not just king of Jerusalem. Jesus was sad because the people only wanted an earthly king. The people in the city did not know who Jesus was. They asked the people in the crowd who was riding on the donkey. The people in the crowd answered that it was Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee. We know that he was much more than that, don't we? At last, the special parade that was not a parade was over. Jesus had come into Jerusalem. He had done as he had planned to do. We still celebrate the day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the donkey. Did you know that? We call that day Palm Sunday. And many churches pass out palm branches to children on that day. Why do you think it's called Palm Sunday? You're exactly right. The end. Thank you for listening. And I will see you next time when I read another story. And this story was called Jesus and The Big Parade, The Palm Sunday Story by Susan Minton. Thank you again for listening. And please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel.